Hi everyone. Session is starting, so if you could just perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Hi again. Having hope you had a great day and good afternoon. I'm Daniel Ezzati. Welcome to my session, Digital Creative Reconstruction, play for preserving cultural heritage. So our agenda would be starting with my introduction, and then we're going to jump to digital colonization, and then we talk about the solution that I provide called Digital Creative Reconstruction and a use case study. It's called Time Journey to Nowruz, and we're going to conclusion and the Q&A. So I'm Dan Ezzati again, Iranian XR VR specialist and game designer. I have over 7 years of experience working with different teams at University of Connecticut. We developed many projects, many supported actually with funded by NSF, and also I was proudly member of International Exchange Program at IGDA Foundation. I work at Volvo Group, designing XR training system for them, and also I currently started my position at ConEdison, managing immersive learning now. We training utility worker. And for this presentation, my focus was to using play and immersive learning and technology to counter misrepresentation. So let's just start with this question. Just want to know, anybody here ever heard that word digital colonization or? Nobody? Okay, perfect. So, the battery is running low, so. Technical difficulties. So if you wait a couple of seconds, we're gonna fix it. Yeah, technical issue fixed. So, working? Sorry, now this is not working, but I'll try to use this. So, digital colonization. So technically, whenever a dominant culture tries to present an underrepresented culture, it may lead up to misrepresentation. So I have this other question for gamers. Do we have any people here play Prince of Persia before? Oh, perfect. Yeah. Okay. So the Prince of Persia, like the original one, you see the setting is more look like an India. I know the story narrative between different location, but when you see the characters, the costume, the setting, and the language that they talk, you don't find actually any Persian character or a Persian setting. So that's why I'm born gamer. So just I was playing and I was so excited for it. And anytime I played, some randomly villains in the game talk Persian, and I was so frustrated seeing that happen. And then I was a kid, and I just heard that Hollywood is making a movie about Persian 300, and I was so excited. Finally, we got something about Persian, and that's the Persian king that they show with too many piercing, and look like a villains or ghouls or demons. And the right side is actually a photo of Xerxes, the main character that depicted in the movie. So I feel that anytime something happened in the digital world, we feel misrepresented. Also, the recent documentary short on Netflix called Alexander the Great, same thing. The costumes and the content that they deliver is not presenting us correctly. The presentation is fairly quick, so that's an activity. If you go to your browser, search for first thing Iran. I don't know if you follow up the news, but nothing positive. Many bad things happening. The war is happening. So when you search Iran, you will see all these things. But if you search what Iran is known for, you will see it's showing that it should be known for its rich culture, history, and cultural heritage sites that it has. So I found myself in a position that I should do something for it. Technically, for the problems that I mentioned, like because of the situation that we have, like many of our traditions, Iran is one of the oldest civilizations in the world, so many of our traditions and rituals that we have is like centuries old. So Gen Z is very much disconnected from it. So domestically, many of us, like we grew up in digital world, just so we disconnected from our own culture. Internationally, I noticed that many of these misrepresentation happen because it's not intentionally, because they try to do something about it, but they are not educated. They don't have any good resources. So we need to raise this voice, internationally too. And also humanitarian situation. Many of these cultural and historical sites are like exposed to being damaged, and like nobody feels safe to travel to Iran for decades. So the humanitarian situation that we have there, and people are immigrating to different society, coming to Europe, they need something to present their culture. So that was a moment that I was thinking about, like I need to do something about it. And the first thing I needed was the methodology. So digital creative reconstruction that I'm going to explain was like a roadmap for me, as a framework. And I needed platform, so I used game because I was a gamer and I used to play design games. So I found it very much responsive and like entertaining platform to use games as a way to like educating and letting the audience know about my culture. So digital creative reconstruction, technically what it means is that is relatively try to tell the stories, historical stories, cultural stories, in a relative way, because many of these resources are lost. But I'm going to explain more in details in next slides, but it's like many contents that I try to deliver, it's like some of them are lost, so I try to finding best approach to design this and present it to the gamer. So the purpose of it mainly is to counter digital colonization that I explained. And how it works is you use technology, art, and history, and personal narrative all together to presenting like immersive educational experience. And that was the moment that I need to work on a real case study project, a game. So this is my MFA thesis project called Time Journey to Nowruz. It's a first-person puzzle adventure game, and also is a VR cinematic experience. Is having all the content about the Persian culture, and many have like historical and folklore characters and like historical settings. And it all designed based on a framework. So as much as I could, I just bring this authentic storytelling, but also I just try to be creative. I talk to people, try to bring their oral historical narrative that like passed through generation. So for the term called Time Journey to Nowruz, I want to start this question. Anybody here familiar with the term Nowruz? One, perfect. So Nowruz is a Persian word. It means a new day. In a Persian culture, we celebrate the first day of spring, the time that the winter is gone, and like we gather together, we celebrate it as a new day, as the Persian, the Persian calendar started that day. So technically, what we do is just like we're designing our own custom, many Asian rituals, like designing table with 7 items was what we wish for New Year to be happening to us. And it's all about unity. It's all about being together. And like it is a core of our culture. So, and it exists in our culture for like, 2,000-year-old. So it's very much Asian. And it's also known by UNESCO is known as an intangible cultural heritage. And also the term time is not related to time itself. It's short for tangible interaction with Middle East, because from the region that I'm coming, all that I covered till this slide is same for many countries there. Like all suffering the same issues. They need like new generation of games starting to like covering the content that they have. So this chemistry between digital creative reconstruction and the Time Journey to Nowruz is trying to bridging the past and the present to build a bright future. So while you're playing it, you exist in a present time, and then you travel to the Asian Persian Empire, Achaemenid Empire, talking with the characters. So you start to learn to creating the bright future. And the storytelling framework I use hero's journey, but I customize it because it's very much Western, storytelling framework. So I customize it to cover this cultural stories, and it presents authentic culture and historical narrative. It also it has gamified ritual elements. So many of those things that we do actually in real life, I try to gamify it. So when you play it, you design the table, you design your own custom, and the whole goal is that by ending the game, you're not just only educated, but also be ready to celebrate your own Nowruz. That's our main goal. So many of those images that you see is like a historical site that I recreated. As you see, the only thing remained there is just a remnant, but I tried to like, with a photorealistic graphic, just remake those environments, which was, a hard part of it because I don't have a 3D model reference. It was very hard. I tried to use even like museum 3D scan asset that was publicly available to recreate those cultural sites. And during all those, production phase, I made more than 50 interactive modules, many of them, again, ritual gamified elements. Also, 15 unique Persian environment. As you see, the left side is a Persian kitchen. I don't know if you try Persian food, but it's one of the other cores of our culture. We love food a lot. And also Persian royal garden and a bazaar. So many of these environment, like telling the stories, architecture. When you explore the environment, you see the artifact, you could just pick it up, learn more about my culture. So post-production, that's a hard phase. I actually worked with a cross-functional team of students and like faculty while I was developing this. It's run through like a many iteration, the feedback that I receive. I try to share it with the fellow students, fellow Iranian, and like try to get their feedback and like try to fix it, make it more accessible. But then I faced this huge roadblock that I always try to forget about it. But that's the hard part because after all this presentation I had, people saying like, okay, we want to play it. You talk about this game where I could play it. And we come to Steam, and because I'm Iranian, I'm not allowed to publish it on Steam. Even though the game is free to play, I don't look for any benefit, like financial benefit out of it. But they prevent me to publish it on Steam. I'm still working on it. I'm looking for like, any possible way that I could just, get this game out there, just bring it to people and like, let them play and experience it. So that's a huge roadblock, but right now what I'm doing is just bring it to the conferences, competition by myself manually, carry on the project and like show it to the audiences. That's a quote that I get while I was bringing this game to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute Game Fest. Ben Cheng mentioned that a game that's not just about entertaining and is also about educating and creating change in the world. A game that thinks about what kind of impact games actually can have beyond just gameplay. That's technically talking about like how we could use games as a platform, how we could just reimagining, playing and learning and having fun, but also learn this important content. So digital colonization happening. It's not just about one country, one culture. Could be about everything. As you just exploring digital world, you will just see the concept that presenting something not right. So the only way is to just using something, erasing a voice, creating a content, and like try to counter it. And technology and history live in harmony. I've worked with many teams at UConn. We had this VR experience for covering the indigenous stories, and like we have different experiences. We work on GIS, using game engines. Using technology to telling this history is a new way to bring new experiences that wasn't able to experience for the audiences in the past. Also, broader applicability. Again, as I said, like even the term of the game, it just could have the chapter 2 about Iran, but also could have different chapters about the different countries that are suffering the same issue. And the project impact, I was mesmerized, sharing with people, even like in my home country, they played. Because many of those things is like what our grandparents just do. We don't know the meaning. They start playing, say, oh, well, now I know why we do this, why we do that, And also, I shared with the audience that hopefully out of this presentation, we will all know about Nowruz. Hopefully the next Nowruz, we could just share more joy and all together. And the glimpse to the future, I hope that could just be adapted with the more, developers and like, especially many of us coming from that region, we are so frustrated because of all these decades of war and like, humanitarian situation. So we would have like a moment to breathe that we could just think about how we could present our culture, just raising our voice. And sorry, I've just tried to wrap it up quickly. So I would be more than happy to hear any feedback or question that you have. Sure. That's a good question. It's not professionally that I could share it through like a packaging at like a Google Drive, but that's the only way for now. Again, I'm talking with this team. Just let them know I'm here. I don't, I don't know how their sanction impacting me, but hopefully it like somewhere soon. If you could just scan the QR code that's linked to all my socials, and like I'm going to post it soon. Hopefully, in finding way, share it on LinkedIn, and like let the audience know how they could play it. Any other question? Sure. Yeah, I would say it's kind of same experience. We've been through like many invasions through the history, like Mongolian invasion, but like different. Like some of the elements exist, some of them are not. But like, it's not very much modern, so maybe not same total experience. But I could see that's still there. Like we the only problem is that we many of Iranian are gamer. Like maybe I don't know, 80% of people are gamer. But about game designing, it wasn't they didn't have any option. Recently, I in the time when I was studying bachelor, I see the Unreal Engine is free, so that was the moment that I had this chance to be a game designer. So it's happening recently. Noticed that like I played the last Prince of Persia. It get better. It has a Persian language if you want it to experience it. So I see this shift happening. More designer, this shift to start happening. So I would believe that eventually, like people will start like raising new voices, like new developers. They could just tell this experience. It's very much unique, and it's one thing I noticed as an immigrant is that it's very much authentic. It's something that exists inside of you, and you need to like find it a best way to like narrate that experience. So I would say it should become a firm like shield developers. It cannot like I see that some people like international people trying to do it, even with the positive thoughts, but it turned out not to be presented well. Again, Mr. Presentation. So it's very tricky, but the authentic voice is the very good solution for it. Any other? Sure. Well, some of them, because a, a, it has many different assets. I tried to like collaborate with some 3D modeler, also like 3D scanned object from museum, some of them by me, and because it was hard process, like many of them are like very high detail, like need optimization. So it was very hard to like wrap it up with the one person, but I would just say 30, 40% of it by me, and then combination of other, artists' work. Yeah, so as soon as it planned to be just a 3D game, like first-person game, and as soon as I designed all those environments, the main like, comment that I received was that, oh, it's very authentic, it's very rich, and it would be great if I could just have it the experience in VR. So that's why it has a VR mode. And it's mainly designed for conferences. Just a cinematic. You just sit and like being in the environment is like a roller coaster that goes through all this environment and just giving you a narrative about like what happened to this sites, what those sites means, and like some information about the game itself. Sure. Yeah, that was hard to find the people. Like, there are many people who are happy to help me, but I just, as soon as I just create a demo out of it to share it with our community, I see people coming, and some of them have like really good experience. Just some of them were expert. I talked with historian and like talked with people before this internet disconnected in Iran. Like I connected to many people, they sharing these stories and like elements. So it was more to like a finding true community. Like share it with the player. I don't know, it's free to play, so no purchase needed. And when they play it, they see I see the like interest coming. So from different directions, but the one problem that we have as Iranian, we are very much disconnected. Like it's very hard to find like a one social media that could share it and finding people. So just put it out there, and I trusted that people tell each other. So and I know that there is not that much Iranian game. So that was a good phase, and that resulted that like got very excited, and I got volunteer from different direction. And from my school, I had some friends that helped me from Iranian developer community inside Iran. So I would just say combination, and it's called coming from a different direction, if that makes sense. Sure. Yeah, so I would just answer it three ways. The first comment about I have like as Iranian, we have our own mythology, like mythology, sorry, and we have our own like heroes and things that never been used. So I was just like, I wish to be like having the same God of War, Persian God of War, but I see it coming from different direction because the creator does not have a full understanding. They use Zeus because Zeus have lightning, but not the meaning behind it. I know that I see that happening. So same experience. Um, about this reaching to diaspora, the hard part again, Steam is choking me. I go to high school, they say, "Oh, perfect. I wanted to share it with the kids because there's no wireless in the game. It's all like exploring and learning. So it's hard, like finding a platform that I could just share it with them, that not local machine that I could carry on. So interest exists. I cannot wait to like find a platform to share it. Um, I try to use other platforms. Many of them suffering the same thing, sanction. So yeah, just trying to find it, but I see the interest is coming. And the one good part is that I see same question that you ask also. It's just that as soon as you share it, you say this is like a platform. This game could just be having it your chapter, because some of the things that I included is just coming from my family stories, like the things passed through generations. Something that your father had could just be in a unique chapter, or like a paper in a game, just could just educate the user about it. So interest exists, it's big, but the problem is like I don't have any bridge to reach that audience. Sure. Yeah, it's Unreal Engine. Well, being Iranian, just we have this, I don't know. Uh, we are very much passionate about high graphic games. So as a gamer, I've just like loved this, high graphic game, and then I become a game designer. Just wanted to do something, with the perfect lighting, ray tracing. So I started in Unreal, and then I'm working in Unity too, but back in days I started that. So that was like it's like a home to me. So it's like a safe to like designing thing, but also like it's easier to collaborate because it's could just be adapted like a different version of modeling, handling the high poly model if in like a performance wise. So I would just say technical, but also I feel like it's a good presentation. Like having this environment, and one particular reason, like many of these cultural sites, I cannot go back to visit them. And when I wanted to hand it over this game to the player and let them have like a, I don't know, somehow experience of being immersed and being in that environment. So high detail graphic that was available in Unreal rapidly and easily was something that was essential to this project. So that combination of reasons, I would say. Any other question? Good. Perfect. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy your rest of the day. Thank you.